The United States military has once again been involved in a mission to evacuate its citizens from a war-torn country. In 1991, the U.S. Marines and Navy SEALs successfully carried out Operation Eastern Exit, evacuating nearly 300 people, including U.S. Embassy personnel and foreign citizens, out of Somalia. However, in 2023, a sudden eruption of fighting between two rival generals in Sudan's capital city, Khartoum, turned the city into a battle zone, leaving some 16,000 Americans trapped and desperate to leave the country. The U.S. military, in an operation on April 23, evacuated all U.S. government personnel and a small number of allied diplomats, but this still left thousands of Americans in Sudan with few clear means of escape. Evacuation situation marks a significant departure from the previous U.S. airlift operations in Somalia in 1991 and the larger evacuation from Lebanon in 2006. This stark shift has led to backlash in Washington, as some officials and lawmakers are urging the administration to take more decisive action in order to assist the trapped U.S. citizens. We intend to provide current affairs in 5-minute packs. Please support us through your likes and shares, and subscribe our channel for more 5-minute video packs. The conflict has raised questions about whether top officials in the Biden administration properly heeded the widespread warnings that fighting could erupt in the weeks and days leading up to full-scale conflict. Despite working to address the crisis and secure a ceasefire in Sudan, officials working on East Africa policy in Washington are feeling angry and accusatory. The warning signs were all there, even if the people at the top didn't appreciate it until after shit hit the fan, one official said. Meanwhile, Americans still trapped in the fighting in Sudan are openly criticizing the State Department for providing little to no assistance in getting out. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said during a press conference on April 28 that the U.S. was providing the best possible advice that we can to anyone asking for our assistance and providing important logistical support to other evacuation efforts. However, evacuations are easier said than done. The Biden administration is positioning naval ships near the coast of Sudan to aid Americans leaving Sudan, and is providing intelligence and surveillance over UN convoys leaving Khartoum to monitor their safety, but isn't planning any massive evacuation. It's also still unclear how many of the estimated 16,000 Americans still there are actively seeking to leave. According to administration officials, the intense fighting makes such an evacuation plan unsafe and untenable. Additionally, Khartoum is more than 500 miles from the coast, making an evacuation operation even more difficult than the one from Lebanon, along the Mediterranean Sea, or Mogadishu, on the Somalian coast. Many of the U.S. citizens still in Sudan have dual citizenship, but there is also a significant presence of Americans who were in Sudan to work on U.S.-funded humanitarian and aid work, according to officials in Washington. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan told reporters on April 24 that, "We are communicating risks quite clearly and quite directly to people, as we have communicated risks over more than a decade to tell Americans not to travel to Sudan in the first place and to leave Sudan if they were there." One U.S. official told that, "These weren't hapless tourists, these were people working to make a difference in Sudan, and they should not be left behind." The situation in Sudan is fluid, with violence and unrest continuing to escalate. The U.S. Embassy in Khartoum has been closed since April 7. The administration is exploring all options for evacuating U.S. citizens, including working with neighboring countries, such as Egypt, and potentially using private charter flights to get people out. However, the situation is complex and risky, with high probability of harm to U.S. citizens and their allies if evacuation efforts are not carefully planned and executed. The U.S. administration is taking a cautious approach and has emphasized the importance of clear communication with those still in Sudan about the risks involved. Overall, the situation depicts challenges and risks involved in evacuations efforts in volatile and conflict-prone regions. There are lessons to learn from past evacuations, such as the one in Afghanistan, to ensure that the US citizens and allies are able to safely evacuate from Sudan. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe our channel for more videos.